Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies and
Dave from the Golden Chin.
We are here with battle report number 5 for you guys this week. We saw the results of last week's battle report, which went live for you guys tomorrow, which will be 2 weeks ago when they see this.
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago today, you would have seen what happened when basically you kick a proverbial hornet's nest.
Yes.
So
yeah. So with the result of, can I tell them about the results?
Yeah, at this stage.
Yeah, because it'll be 2 weeks from now. Yeah. So so you guys have seen the battle report from 2 weeks ago now, as you've seen this. Marshal Zorn has managed to just about repel the random swarm of Tyranids that was parading around the planet. Kind of secure the Iron Citadel. It is left beaten and battered. It's pockmarked with holes. The casualties are high. His weapons of war are diminished, shells running low. He's relying on the blood, sweat and tears of normal infantrymen to repel the lines that hold the walls. And that's what we're leaving off with now. He has basically patchworked the Iron Citadel as much as he can. When a shout goes up from the sentry that the convoy of relief force has finally arrived to bring these brave soldiers back to Commissar Reign and into the main fight. Anything from yourself?
That's kind of it, really.
Yeah. We'd like to thank the Deep Cut Studios for providing the mat that we're going to be playing this mission on. Thank you very much, Deep Cut Studios, for supporting the channel. Let's get into deployment. Okay, so Marshal Zorn, upon hearing that the convoy is en route, the relief force is coming, and him and his forces can make their way back to Severina Reign to bolster the Imperial forces on the planet. Has, of course, with all due pomp, which is befitting any Imperial relief force showing up, he has arrayed his forces in parade ground fashion, ready to receive the glorious reinforcements. So as Big Bertha trundles her way into the middle of the fortress,
and now, finally, we have returned.
As you can see, the remaining Iron Warriors have now deployed onto the field of battle. The Defiler, looking for revenge for the Imperial dog that wounded its pride the last time round. 2 squads of Chaos Space Marines charging up to really put the hurt onto the Krieg lines.
At your command!
We've brought along a Forge Fiend, a proper siege demon beast to tear those walls down and create a couple more openings for the Imperial Guard lines. And this time, the force is led by an aspiring champion looking to do what Atropos, the Spear of Olympus, was unfortunately unable to do against the Executioners in the second battle report. So it's all to play for here. The forces have just deployed on the edge of the board, so they won't be able to actually move further up this turn, but we do have our first turns here now with the Berserkers in the midst of the Iron Citadel, so we're going to get straight into it. They're going to try shooting down a few of the lines just to soften them up a little bit, and then we're going to get straight into the assaults and really start hewing through those tasty looking guardsmen. So we've nothing to do in the command phase, and in the movement phase it was primarily just the Berserkers disembarking from the stolen transport, getting ready to launch the charge deep into the enemy lines.
Why aren't we killing yet?
And we're going to open up with this squad of 5 Berserkers, firing off 5 bolt rounds into the first squad of Imperial Guardsmen. So, not a bad opening volley. We've managed 3 initial hits, and we've managed to wound with all 3 shots.
let's see if the Krieg armor can hold strong. No. Unfortunately, already 3 of my brave guardsmen have been shot and removed from the table.
Not a bad start, not a bad start at all. We're going to now pan across the table and do the exact same thing over here.
Hopefully with less success.
Well, you know, you say tomato, I say tomato. Doing a little better again actually, so 4 hits this time round and a grand total of 4 wounds.
Oh dear. I saved 1. So once again, 3 of the lazy squad, the guardsmen at ease, are blasted to 2 pieces.
You'd have thought that he got the memo from the last battle report.
Just to like buck up and do some work.
Yeah.
You know they're not putting the Iron Citadel back together at all when the boss is shouting. Having the sun under one arm and a bottle of Fanta in it.
We were on a break!
So we're going to start off the Berserkers launching their first assault into the Imperial Guard lines.
Annihilate them!
Oh, that's what we like to see. So a full 12-inch charge will send them smashing into the waiting.
Attack!
And before the charges have hit home and struck my lines, we are going to spend a command point, and we are going to words.
I didn't know you could read.
Stand and shoot.
Stand and shoot. I forgot the bloody words. So I'm requiring 6s to hit with these dice, but all the 6s are automatic wounds because of the new guardsman rule. So I've caused 4 wounds on your guardsman on the way in there.
Let's see how the power armor holds up against.
At least you have 2 wounds and stuff, right? Anyway, bet you killed 2 of them. Damn it. Bye bye, lazy squad. And I presume you are coming along.
We're gonna do the same thing, hopefully over here.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be.
Ooh. Bum bum bum.
Yeah, bye bye, Corn Berserkers.
Does the term front rank fire, second rank fire mean anything to anybody else?
Don't do that face! Don't do that face!
It's time to start up the industrial blender that is the Khorne Berserker squad. So each of these guys on the charge with their chainsaws revving makes 4 attacks, apart from the champion who makes 5 attacks. And any 6s to hit, like Andy's special new rule in my case, gives me an addition, counts as 2 hits rather than 1 hit. So let's see what we can do to the remains of Lazy Squad. So hitting on 3s, not too bad. So we've managed many hits, and with the 2 6s there, that's an additional 2 hits, and these are going to be wounding the guardsmen on 3s at -1 to their saves. So 1, 2, 3, so 4 fail to wound, but a grand total of 4, 8, 12, 14 wounds.
Look at him! Look at him cheating, guys! Look at him! Squad. 13 wounds. Get that 2 out of there.
No, so it is.
13 wounds on Lazy Squad, so I've got to make 13 6-up saves on this squad. All I got to do is pass like 1,000,000 of them. I actually did alright, but they're still all dead.
Bye, have a great time.
So with turn 1 coming to a close, unfortunately, I've got 2 squads now which are left in the middle of no man's land. 1 squad because they did their job and blended a squad. The other because, well, they tripped over their feet as they were coming out. Obviously they didn't tie their shoelaces, they were disembarking the transport, and
I like to think that their big bunny ears got stuck on the roof of the Gorgon.
Now the rest of my forces are on the ridge and will be getting stuck in next turn, so all I have to do is survive 1 round of 1st rank fire, 2nd rank fire with those new rules. Yeah. Andy dice, maybe?
No, Andy dice are good dice, as long as I stay far away from you. So we are now on to Krieg turn 1. Marshal Zorn has obviously seen what has happened, quite shocked that 10 murderous power armored killers have exploded out of the glorious Gorgon, an affront that he will not stand. So even though his guys are in parade fashion, it is basically a kill box. So the 1st rank will take a knee, 2nd rank will lean over, and they will unleash hell on these traitorous Marines until they are dead.
All clear. Sector is clear. Not clear. Not clear.
Just a quick note, guys, on what the objective is for this game. This is an all-out war. So in order for the Iron Warriors to be a successful, sustainable force on the planet, they are going to need a base of operations. So that's why they have struck out the Iron Citadel, to take it for themselves and hold this as their own fortress. The Kriegsmen obviously are just trying to survive and fight their way back to the main Imperial forces. So the objective of this game is all-out war. It is literally kill or be killed. So the way it works is I have 14 units on the table. For every unit that Dave kills, he gets a victory point. Dave has, I think, 7 units on the table. For every one that I kill, I get 2 victory points. So it should balance out nicely. Dave has obviously removed one of the units straight away in the game, so he is up 1 victory point going into my turn 1. Let's see if we can even the odds. My command phase, nothing to do. So I'm going to issue some quick orders. So I'm going to go for front rank fire. I'll try and say that words again, but you know, more clearly. Front rank fire, second rank fire. And this unit of guardsmen in front of me, and due to the way the rules work, they can pick another unit within 6 inches, so these guys as well, we're also going to benefit from front rank, second rank. So that's all I have now. It's going to go into the movement phase. I'm going to redistribute some of my forces around and try and get them into a better position to repel the Chaos Invaders.
For the glory of the Imperium. We're ready to go, sir. I'll be riding shotgun.
So I'm going to open up with my first volley from my Grenadier squad. So these are actually the Scion Grenadier miniatures.
We've got experience in these things.
So I'm going to count them in this list as Scions because there's no current rules for them. So they're basically the same idea. So I'm going to open up with my hotshot las guns on the squad of Corn Berserkers. So 9 dudes minus the sergeant, so that's 18 shots. All about 19 for in first pistol. These guys do hit on 3s as they are very well trained. And the 6 has got automatic wounds with this as well. It does, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Right? Wrong.
So these guys are this, and then I need 5s to wound.
Strike hard!
That is what I like to see. That's handy dice. See what happens when you stay away from Dave? You get good dice rolls. So Dave is going to suffer the might of 10 wounds. Normally these would be -2, but because of Dave's chaos or power armored rules now, it's only going to be -1, so he's going to get 4 up saves against them.
Let's see what happens when I actually use Iron Warriors dice. 4 up saves. That's not too bad. We've lost. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. That is 4 of the Berserkers have been dropped, leaving only the champion standing in the middle of the kill box.
2 in chaos cannot come quick enough.
I'm telling you.
Okay, the Scion squad, or I'm going to call it Grenadiers from here on out, but you don't need any Scion rules, and did a very good job and dropped 4 of the Chaos Marines, which is fantastic. Now the engineers are going to come in with their beautiful shotguns. We all know that we enjoy when these guys rack in a load and wreck the enemy. So 5 guys, 15 shots, hitting on 3s.
Oh, automatic wounds for once.
You won't need it. And it's strength 4 or 5? Or 3 or 4?
The shotguns are strength 4.
Ooh. So just get rid of these non-wounds. 4 saves to take on your final Corn Berserker on my left flank.
Alrighty, 4 3-up saves. Can we keep him alive? Ooh, not so much. Unfortunately, he does go down. Even with 2 wounds, he'd have been gone.
So as that was my first outing for my Grenadiers in the game, and I've never had them on the tabletop before. They did such a good job on this side. I'm going to see if the second squad of Grenadiers over here is going to be able to duplicate their brothers' jobs and kill a lot of these guys. So
You know the routine? Attack!
So I'll take the 4 automatic wounds to begin.
I spoke too soon in the last roll, didn't I?
Yeah. And then once again 5s. Another 2. So 6 wounds, so a couple short of the last squad, but that's still a really decent number. Of 4 up saves that need to be taken by the chaos. Hopefully, statistically, you should lose at least 3 of them here.
Let's see, Dave dice.
You beat it. Only 2 died.
Only 2, we'll take it.
Oh, very good. And I've got no shotguns on this flank, so it's up to good old las guns to finish off the other 3. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is fire off this 10-man squad here, which has the order front rank fire, second rank fire on them, which means they're going to fire 40 shots. How in the blue hell I'm supposed to fit all 40 in like 3 dice in one? God damn it.
Oh, my heart bleeds for
Oh, it's not too many dice, buddy. Like, What am I gonna do? Let's see what happens.
1 plus 1 equal 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. And you get 7.44. What the f?
Boom! Let's just take a moment to realize that that's 6, 7, 8 automatic wounds before I even start piling my way through the dice.
Oh dear God.
It's going to take me a minute to remove the misses, which of course there's still quite a few of. And then 5s to wound with the remaining dice. I may have been a bit too smug there. So in total we've caused 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 wounds on those 3 Chaos Space Marines.
Okay.
No minus into your armor, so obviously beautiful 3-up power armor.
Let's see what we can do. So that's at least 1, 2. Again, it's just the champion left holding his own.
The weak fight back!
This fella still hasn't got to swing his axe in a game yet, so hopefully he'll be able to make his way across the lines, but somehow, yeah, there's still a lot of guns pointing at him, I doubt it.
The one Khorne Berserker champion that is remaining in my lines. Before I start just hosing him down with extra lasgun shots, you're going to see if Fonja von Fonja can finish him off with his glorious las cannon shot to the face. You got this, buddy. An automatic las cannon wound to your Chaos Space Marine there, buddy. Do you get a save from that?
I got a 6-up save. The 5-up save because of the Newton Down.
Do you think you got him?
So, turn 1, Marshal Zorn issued his glorious orders and has managed to sweep clear the Khorne Berserkers from the Iron Citadel. He's now basically quickly routing guys to the wall in order to repel the main force of Chaos Space Marines. Due to the fact that I've wiped out 2 of the Chaos Space Marine squads, that has given me 4 victory points, stage 1 at the end of turn 1. Let's see if I can keep this lead going. If any of the other battle reports are to stand for that, it's probably not going to happen.
Unfortunately, I was right. First rank fire, second rank fire. Still hurts just about as much as I remember it did.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
So, unfortunately, I've lost my foothold in the Imperial lines, and that failed charge on turn 1 was a bitter pill to swallow.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations.
But we are Iron Warriors, iron within, iron without. It's time to drive our way up towards the walls, break them open, and start really tearing those Imperial defenses aside. So, plan for this turn is to get everything as far up as I can, try and start firing out some shots from things like the Defiler, from the Hell Brutes, to try and get the Imperial Guards to get their heads down, and hopefully buy myself enough time to get into assault range and start picking those squads apart and try and pick back some victory points where I can. So let's see how that goes. Nothing to do in my command phase this turn, so we're just going to move straight into the movement phase.
The path to ruin. As you command. We are Legion.
Now we come to the shooting phase. We're going to start working our way from right to left. Most of the guys on foot ran as they advanced, so they're not going to be firing off some shots, so it's really just going to be the heavy vehicles and the squad of Chosen with their melter guns bringing up the rear that are going to fire off some shots. So we'll start off with the Defiler, training its sights on the Scion squad. So first off, firing its battle cannon. It's going to be heavy D6, so it's going to be firing 4 shots, hitting on 4s, not too bad, 3 hits, and wounding the guardsmen on 2s at -2 to their armor saves.
So that's 3 wounds at -2.
3 wounds at -2.
These are Scions, so they will get a 6-up save from this. And one of them passes, but 2 brave Scions are...
We will of course follow that up with the autocannon arm from the Defiler as well, so firing out 4 shots as well, 2 of them finding their mark, and also wounding on 2s at strength 7. That is another 2 wounds at -1 to their save.
So these get 5-up saves. Ouch. Another 2 brave Scions
Taking hits!
crashing down.
That's what we like to see.
This is a revenge for what they did for your Berserkers, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. We'll swing over to the squad of Chosen, slinking around the corner of Big Bertha, lowering their melta-guns into position on the firing arcs of their shields. They're going to fire off 4 melta-gun shots into this squad of Imperial Guardsmen. So hitting on 3s. 3 of these shots managed to hit, and barbecuing them on 2s.
What's the minus on that?
So it's going to be -4.
So even though I'm in cover behind that big thick wall, I will get no save.
And that's the benefit of playing Iron Warriors. Cover, you don't get no cover.
Oh yeah, you don't get cover firing against Iron Warriors, do you? Oh dear. The hell's the point in taking this big fortress?
Exactly. So the last thing I have to fire is going to be the plasma cannon from the Dreadnought. So it's going to target...
The what?
Look, I know it's a Hellbrute, but in my mind it's always going to be an Iron Warriors Dreadnought.
It's a Hellbrute.
It's a Dreadnought. So he's going to fire off his plasma cannon, targeting the squad of Scions here. So again...
Oh, they've had enough, leave them alone.
Heavy D3 shots, so firing 2 shots.
Come on, double miss.
1 hit, 1 miss, and wounding on 3s. I think it's strength 7 or strength 6. I'm not 100% sure. That might be a wound, it might not be a wound. Let's just double check that and we'll come right back to you.
Okay, of course, checked the rules profile for the plasma cannon, and it is...
So it is strength 8 and -3 to their armor save.
So I will lose another Scion. That's half that Scion squad has been barbecued this turn by the Defiler and the Dreadnought.
Unfortunately though, because it is a Chaos plasma cannon firing from the Dreadnought, that roll of a 1 also means that the Dreadnought suffers a mortal wound as well. The knock-on effect of the Hellbrute suffering a mortal wound is that I now need to roll to see if he's crazed this turn and ends up firing the plasma cannon all over again. So on a roll of a 6, just like that, he actually gets to fire the thing once more against a target of his choosing. So let's go for the same target again. So heavy D3 shots. So firing 1 shot. It does manage to hit, but doesn't manage to wound, unfortunately. So that is going to bring my shooting phase to a close. Now we're on to the assault phase. So the only thing that's in range this turn to see if it can actually climb over the walls is going to be the Forge Fiend. So it's going to need a 9-inch charge to make its way up and over the walls, or more likely barreling through the walls to get at the last few Imperial Guardsmen. So 9-inch charge, that's going to be enough.
Row.
That is going to be it. So powering through.
My imagination states that this would be gone. You know, he will come through literally like a wreck, like that Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah!
Popple! Oh no! Oh no! Oh yeah!
So starting off with the Mauler Fiend's fists, so rearing up, it smashes down onto them, basically like a demonic belly flop in the middle of the Imperial Guard. So 5 attacks from fists, hitting on 4s, managed to hit with 3 of the attacks, and wounding on, unsurprisingly, 2s. Cracking straight through their armor and pulping 2 of the guardsmen. Then follows up with its lasher tendrils, which reach out and try to strangle the guardsmen as they hunker for cover. Only manages to hit 3 times, unfortunately.
Part of me thinks that's probably going to be enough. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is enough, and that is that guardsman squad butchered by the Forge Fiend punching its way through the walls. Forge Fiend, Mauler Fiend, one of those 2. Doesn't matter. Does the job anyway. End of Iron Warriors turn 2. We've now got a foothold in the lines. We have managed to punch our way through the fortifications and have wiped out 1 more Imperial Guard squad. So that nets me 1 additional victory point, bringing my total to 2. But I still have a little bit of a way to catch up on Andy's 4 victory points. So it's all to play for at the moment, but thankfully we've got the big stomping machines getting closer to the lines, and those elite troops are starting to fall one by one. This is the face of a man who's got lots of big shiny tanks in his deployment zones.
you recording?
Yeah.
Oh. So yes, start of Krieg, turn 2. Dave did not manage to clamber back victory points in his turn 2. So I'm currently ahead by 2 points going into my turn, so which is a good place to be. A bad place to be because there is stompy big robots smashing their way through my lines. I'm going to try my very best to tear through this Mauler Fiend. That's basically my goal in this turn, is to try and take that down and then start pinking off some wounds from some extra Marines. So I have nothing but some front rank fire, second rank fire to do. I don't know whether you can do front rank fire, second rank fire on Scions. It might have to be a Scion commander to do that, but I'll figure that out and let you guys know. So in my movement phase, it's going to be front rank fire, second rank fire on these guys, which will then pass it to these guys. And then I'm just going to re-configure my lines a little bit to get some better firing arcs on specific units. So I'm going to do that now.
Reconfigure?
Yeah, you know, it's where you configure, but you reconfigure. So these guys are going to pull back here. They're very brave soldiers, or they're terrified, one or the other. These guys are going to shift around a little bit like this.
Tactical.
Using precise movement measurement as usual.
After that, we had to do a tactical retreat.
Excuse me, what is retreat?
It's when you abandon your position and leave the battle.
So heresy with extra steps.
I have, of course, knocked my wall, which I do every time I touch anything on this table.
You're just becoming an Iron Warrior, an honorary Iron Warrior. You're seeing the light down with the walls.
Apparently. This is the forces I'm dedicating to try and taking wins off of this guy. And then we'll try and reorientate through these guys as well. So the brave Scions here will move up forward. And then we will have shotguns for years.
Couldn't help but notice you're trespassing on my land.
Move up a little bit. And some infantry filling up this gap. No point in taking cover because Iron Warriors. So that's basically my movement phase. Now it's time to go on to the shooting phase, where these two squads will fire 80 shots at this beast. That's 80. 80. I think 80 shots will put a dent in a really angry metal covered dinosaur with Doc Ock tentacles. I don't think so either, but we're gonna find out. Okay, take 2. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with these guys, front rank firing, second rank firing. So these are the 40 shots from the first squad on the Mauler Fiend. So I'm going to take out all of these beautiful automatic 6s, which are automatic wounds. And then I'm going to take out all the 1s, 2s, and 3s, which my brain sees a billion of. This may be not the best roll. I knock over that banner. One more, I even broke them, god damn it. That was a lot of misses compared to hits. And 6s to wound, I'm guessing. Another 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 wounds on your Mauler Fiend. I don't know what kind of save it has.
It has a 3-up armor save. Let me gather up the dice we need for that and we will be right back. Okay, so 9 3-up armor saves on the Mauler Fiend to see if it can shrug off that lasgun fire.
That's what I like to see, buddy.
Dave Dice is back with a vengeance. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wounds on the machine, bringing it down to only 5 remaining.
Front rank fire, second rank fire.
That's all your dice now, right?
I get to do that all again when that's just 2 squads.
Oh, God damn it.
Well, you don't see this? Can't do quick math.
Here we go again. 40 more dice at the Mauler Fiend. Let's see if we can do better. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 automatic wounds. Let's take out the 1s, 2s, and 3s.
So you say do better, but you've already taken it down. Only 5 wounds remaining.
Oh, that's good to know. So I might kill it here. That'd be great. Blue oil, another 2 wounds. So I've got 8 wounds caused, and you have a 3-up save. So statistically, with Dave Dice, it should be dead.
Stop talking about statistics. We don't get on. Okay, 8 saves, 3 up save.
He lose another 2, so he's got 3 wounds remaining. Whew. Okay, with the Mauler Fiend down to 3 wounds remaining, I think it's time for Faunch Magnificent to come striding on in, aim his sights of his las cannon down, and open fire.
They won't know what hit him.
Oh dear. What an awkward situation.
He's tired, he had a long day. Next turn, don't worry about it. Okay, I was hoping I would get to save my Scion shooting for the squad of Marines that are behind the Mauler Fiend, but unfortunately the Mauler Fiend sits on 3 wounds remaining. It's too juicy a target to skip, so they're going to open fire with their hot shot las guns and see if they can bring it down. If they hit on 3s, they do cause 2 automatic wounds, and let me get rid of the rest. And I require 6s to do any damage. So I've caused 4 wounds, which do -2 to your armor save because your Mauler Fiend is not wearing power armor.
That is correct. So 3 up, 4 up, 5 up saves. So
gotta fail 3 of them to die. Quite like that.
Aww. So let's see if the Mauler Fiend explodes or if it is still in the fight. Or if it explodes, just full stop. Nope, does not explode. It's simply removed from the battle. Well, that's kind of awkward.
So, who broke it?
Okay, now it's time for my left flank to open fire.
Guns. More guns. More guns. Raining guns. It's a gun storm.
So this squad of Scions is just going to open fire on the just the normal guardsman squad here. I need to double check the range of the shotguns, whether that's 12 or 18. Will that make a difference? Yes, 18 will be in range and 12 won't, so I do need to double check that, and then I'll get back to you with the rolling. Okay, so of course the shotguns were 12-inch range, so they are not going to be in range to hit any of the Chaos Forces. This remaining infantry squad is going to open fire on these 5 normal normal Chaos Space Marines, and let's see what I can do.
Who wants some more?
So no 6s, which is extremely sad for me. Remove the misses, grab the hits, and require 5s to cause any damage. So out of those 9 guys or 10 guys, I've caused 1 wound. Knowing Dave dice, though, this will still kill a Chaos Space Marine. Damn it!
Never mock Dave dice.
Yeah, you just don't want to play with those chaotic forces. No. Just let them happen. And the very last touch of shooting I have is the 3 remaining Scions in this squad are going to rapid fire at the Defiler. One of the guys has a pistol though, so it's 5 shots, all of which find their mark and hit. I'm looking for 6s to do any damage. I do get 1 damage off, doing -2 to hits armor.
So it goes to a 5 up save, which does go through, so it takes a wound.
Totally worth it.
You know it'll just regenerate that next turn, right?
Totally not worth it. So at the end of my turn 2, I've once again hurled the Chaos Forces out of my front door. Get up out of that.
Come on!
And by destroying the Mauler Fiend, and I've secured myself an extra 2 victory points, which brings me to 6, and Dave to 2 or 3?
I'm on 2 victory points at the moment.
So 2 to 6 victory points. Unfortunately, this is, or potentially is, the turn where a lot of the Chaos Forces reach my line, and then there is the kind of crackle of teleportation, so I don't know whether Dave's going to bring in his reserves anytime soon, which is kind of scaring the bejeebus out of me.
Iron Warriors, turn 3. So unfortunately that is 3 units now that I've lost so far. 2 units of Berserkers and the Mauler Fiend, which is one of the ones I was hoping would pack a punch and start clawing its way through the Imperial Guard lines. But thankfully they have left some nice big gaps in the lines that I can now punch through. So the plan is I'm going to send the squads here on the left hand side, as I'm looking at it, of the Gorgon, sweeping in, charging straight for the Imperial Guard warriors there, hopefully manage to butcher them. The Defiler is going to clamber its way into the center of the kill box and hopefully flip it on its head and make it a kill box where it gets to, you know, you're not trapped in here with me, I'm trapped in here with you. No, it's the other way around for that, isn't it? This is where I'm the editor, so what actually happened was...
You're trapped out here.
Well, what we have here is a failure to communicate.
Because we're not trapped out here with you.
You're trapped out here with us.
See? Perfectly fine. So, and then the Dreadnought, not sure which way I'll send him, probably send him into the center lines there as well. And I'm also going to this turn bring down my Terminator squad from orbit and hopefully manage to start pulling his attention towards his back lines as well, forcing him to have to split fire between my advances. So let's get straight into it. I've nothing to do in my command phase, so we're going to jump straight into the movement phase. So we are Iron Warriors, doing Iron Warrior things.
I'm praying for more of your coveted double one charges across the board.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of hoping that doesn't happen, unsurprisingly.
That clambering rubble won't slow you down.
Yeah. So, the big stompy robot.
So once again, he will just explode his way through, which is what would happen if something like this guy were to hit some of these fragile Imperial walls. He would go straight through it.
Absolutely.
Even if they weren't fragile walls, they're Iron Warriors, they would find a way to make them fragile walls.
Exactly. There's a reason that we were the ones who brought down the walls of the Imperial Palace. We are good at our job.
Oh no!
Oh yeah!
So that's all my movement done. So now all that's left to do is to decide where my Iron Warrior Terminators are going to come in. It's tempting to drop them right in the thick of the Imperial Guard lines there, but I'm kind of thinking it might be nice to try and bring them over in the back corner over here and start trying to take off some of the Death Riders before they get to actually put those demolition lances to deployment. So I'll start measuring out some distances and we'll come back with the Terminators deployed.
Death to the enemy! Where's that artillery?
Okay, so we're now well and truly into the Imperial Guard lines. So now it's time to start softening them up. The Terminators have arrived, claiming the comms tower, getting the high ground, ready to fire down some shots into the Imperial Guard below before leaping from the ramparts and laying about themselves with their power fists and lightning claws. Before any of that starts, we're going to have to go into our shooting phase. So I'm going to start off with the squad of Space Marines advancing up behind the Divider.
Chill back here. They'll never know we're here.
And they're going to try and fire off their last couple of shots and try and wipe out the squad of Scions here. So we've got 4 guys hefting their bolt guns. So each of them firing a pair of shots as they charge up. So 2, 4, 6, 8 shots. So hitting on 3s and wounding on 3s as well. Not ideal, unfortunately only 4 wounds.
For which I will get 5 up save from that?
4 up save. I don't think the bolter takes anything away from your save anymore.
Oh.
The standard bolter anyway.
I lose 1 more glorious Scion for this. I'm actually going to remove the Sergeant. I'd rather an extra long gun in the fight than the pistol and sword.
I'll just double check that a bolter doesn't have a...
I think I was just thinking about the Iron Warriors rule for removing my cover.
No, unfortunately it's not reducing the bolter or anything like that, so that is... Oh... No, there's no AP on a bolter. I was getting too excited for no reason whatsoever, but I have got a melta gun in the squad, so hopefully I'll be able to vaporize 1 more Scion. So
oh dear.
It hits and very much does cook 1 into soup, leaving only 1 remaining. We'll move on now to the Defiler, firing its battle cannon into the squad of 10 in front of it here.
Yep.
So again, heavy D6, so fires 3 shots, hitting on 4s, only managing to hit with 1 of them unfortunately. but wounding on 2s, which goes straight through the armor and pulps one of the guardsmen. It'll then unleash its autocannon into the squad of combat engineers in front of it, firing 4 shots into the squad here. So of those, 2 of the shots find their mark. And again, these are wounding on 2s. And that is gloriously 2 more wounds on the combat engineers at -1 to their save.
So they will get 6 up saves from this. 1 of course passes, because never underestimate the engineers. Fast becoming my favorite unit in the army.
Obviously. Next we'll move on to the Dreadnought. So again, firing its plasma cannon, so heavy D3 shots. Firing 1 shot, again firing into the combat engineer squad. Does manage to hit. Reroll that. And does manage to wound, so that's going to be going straight through their armor and
same squad or the next
same
across?
squad. It isn't crazed, so it isn't going to be firing twice, unfortunately. So that's all the shooting on this flank. I'll save the Terminators for last, and we'll move over to this side here. So, starting off with the Melta-Guns. So again, we're going to fire 4 shots from the Chosen. And again, they'll go for these hotshot Scions, firing 4 Melta-Gun shots. Ooh. Only managing to hit twice.
Thank God.
But does vaporize 2 more of them.
Not so good.
The Champion will fire off a shot with his bolt pistol, just for the hell of it. He hits, but doesn't wound.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate the Champion as well? If the camera would like to focus on the Champion. It's one of my favourite models in Dave's Iron Warriors army.
Slaughter them
Very
all!
gladiatorial. What a beast.
You're still going to try and kill him though.
Oh yeah, he's got to die like.
And then we'll move over to this squad here. So the close combat squad lowering their bolt pistols, and they're also going to fire into the Scions. So firing 4 shots from their bolt pistols, hitting on 3s. So 2 miss, 2 hit, and wounding on 3s. So 2 more wounds, but they get their full save against these.
4 up save. I do lose another Scion.
And the last shot will be from the Melta-Gun, hitting and vaporizing another one.
Wah, wah, wah. I'm going to once again remove. No, I'm going to take morale checks. I'm going to keep that leadership 7 in play to remove a normal dude.
And then the final shot I have over on this side, what do we got? It's just the Champion then, the aspiring Champion, leading from the back, skulking around, directing his troops. His Melta-Gun is in range, so he's going to fire his Combi Melta into that squad as well, which hits. And that is 1 more vaporized.
On the Scions?
On the Scions.
Half the squad gone.
That is almost all of my shooting, so we're going to then move over to the squad of Terminators. Now, how do I split up all these juicy weapons? So I think what we're going to do is we're going to fire both of the Combi Melta shots into the Death Riders. So we'll start with those. So 2 shots hitting on 3s.
Oh no.
Both of which hit, and both of which wound. So each of these are D6 damage. So Death Riders are 2 wounds apiece.
I believe they are.
So 1 dead and 1 takes a wound.
My poor Nenes. Then 1 guy takes. I suppose glue is important for the war effort.
For the amount of times you've snapped your banner bearer, yeah. I think glue is probably important. So that's fired all their shots. This guy's going to we've got 1 guy with a combi bolter, or a combi flamer, so he's going to fire the bolt shots from that and the autocannon, and they're both going to fire into the engineers, or actually they're going to fire into the Scion squad here and try and take that out. So we've got 2 shots from the Reaper autocannon. 1 of them finds the mark and does manage to wound.
Well, minus that
minus 1 to their armor save.
The Scion squad has been wiped off the game, securing Dave another point.
And then we'll fire off the combi flamer. It'll fire its bolt shots and it'll fire it into the back of the engineers. So firing 2 shots, both of which hit, and both of which wound.
That was the flamer, was it?
That was the combi flamer. So
that is no
bolt shots.
Oh,
no.
bolt shots. Sorry. 1 pass and 1 died, so I'm removing another engineer.
And that brings the shooting phase to a close. I consider that relatively successful. We've loosened the lines a little bit, made a bit of room for the charges, and now it comes down to if we can get those key charges off. So yeah, let's get straight into it. We're moving on to the charge phase. Moving into the charge phase, we're going to start off with the Defiler, because I kind of need to get him, see what kind of charge he can do, and that's going to define how the rest of the strategy is going to play out. If I can get a nice far charge with him, I might be able to get him into one of the further away squads and create a better opening to funnel some of the rest of the troops through. So
the question is, because me and you both play a lot of Age of Sigmar, and we're used to the idea of we roll a charge distance and then we pick a target.
Yeah.
But in 40k, is it not picking a target and then rolling a dice?
Let's check the rules and we'll come back to you on that one. Okay, so Andy was of course correct. I'm far too used to playing Age of Sigmar, so we do actually need to dedicate our targets of our charges. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the Defiler try to charge the squad of engineers here and the squad of Imperial Guard here.
Yep.
So that'll allow me to create a bit of a gap in the lines. So for that charge, it's going to be a grand total of a 5-inch charge. So hopefully should be enough. So, oh, unfortunately not.
Oh no.
4 inches. I don't think 4 inches is going to be enough to actually get him into the... So it's enough to reach the engineers, but it isn't enough to reach those Imperial Guard there. So we'll get him across, but only just. So he tags that unit there.
I don't know whether I should say it to you, but I think you can now, because you've charged the dedicated target. You could pivot and hit both of the shotgun.
I think when I pile in I can, but for the moment I'm going to leave him just like that, just in case I need that little bit of extra space to get the...
Oh yeah, of course, very good, yeah.
So next squad is going to be the squad here, so it's going to be an 8-inch charge for them to reach this squad of engineers. 7, it's going to be a failed charge, so they are not going to make it into combat this turn. The Hellbrute is not going to be in range to make a charge. This squad here, so it's a 10-inch charge to reach that squad, but to reach the Scions here, it's only giving you a 7-inch charge. So we're going to go for the 7-inch charge into the Imperial Scions. No, unfortunately not. Seems we are getting stuck in the mud as we try to clamber over the walls. The Chaos Lord, he's going to declare a charge as well, and me as well. It's a 10-inch charge for him. He fails it. And last is going to be the Chosen big L 12-inch charge. Why not? No. 7-inch charge is nowhere near far enough to get in.
So you're happy enough to declare that that's the end of your charge phase, yeah?
No, not quite so fast. So the Terminators now, because they deep strike, it is going to be a 9-inch charge regardless of who my target is. I think what I need to try and do is tag the Imperial Guard here and hopefully manage to either wipe out that squad or tie it up for a turn. So big numbers here is what we're looking for. Big numbers is what we get. Double skullhead dice, a 12-inch charge. Absolutely outstanding work, gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
And that is going to be the Terminators thundering down the lines, showing what a real cavalry charge feels like.
We have returned.
That's not good. In fact, this whole pincer right here, the fact that between my soft, squishy line of guardsmen is Terminators and a Defiler, this is no bueno. We don't like this. Oh no.
I got a bad feeling about this.
We're going to start off the assault phase with the Defiler. So piling in, it's smashing its way into 2 of the Imperial Guard engineer squads. So the thinking here is I've got 2 full-strength Imperial Guard shotguns that I need to really remove from the battlefield. So the Defiler can make 5 attacks, but knowing the way my dice does usually go, instead of splitting my attacks, I'm going to focus everything in on one squad and hopefully wipe them out, securing another victory point. So we're going to start off with the... Actually, to be honest, because of the strength and damage of all these, it makes no difference if I roll them separately or all together. So I'm going to roll all these attacks around.
Having said that, I did remember that the engineers do have 4 up saves, not 5 up. So if any of them have different AP, that might make a difference to you.
Nah, in that case, it does actually make a difference. You are correct. So in that case, I'm going to need to split them slightly. So we'll start with the claws. So the claws are going to be hitting on 4s and wounding on 2s. So that is 4 hits, wounding on 2s. So they will crack straight through the armor, and that will be 4 of the engineers removed from the field.
From which squad were you striking at?
So on the left-hand side squad.
Your left, so my guys here?
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, We'll leave that guy there, this guy, so we know where the division of the squads are.
Perfect. And then the flail, the big wrecking ball, sweeps across the lines, leaving a big fire trail behind it. This gets 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, again wounding on 2s, but you do get a 6-up save against those 2 wounds.
So 2 6-up saves on the last remaining guy. Anyway.
So that secures me 1 more victory point, so starting to claw them back. That's 2 so far in this turn, so that brings me to 4 victory points versus Andy's 6. So we're starting to slowly chip.
Oh yeah, because you cleared off that science squad and engineer squad so far. I have a feeling you might get another one, but I can't be too sure here.
Yeah, let's see what happens there now. So now my heavy cavalry hits Andy's heavy cavalry as the Terminator's charge hits home. So we're going to start off by opening up with the 3 guys in the squad carrying power fists. So we've got 3 attacks apiece from each of those. So 3, 6, 9. So again, any 6s to hit are going to count as 2 successful hits. Unfortunately, no hits whatsoever there, and only 3 have managed to find their mark because I have to take 1 away from the hit rolls when swinging with a power fist. But any of these wound on 2s, which are going to punch straight through their armor, and each causing 2 wounds apiece. So that will fell 2 of the horses. The next to swing at is the power maul. So again, 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. So 2 more wounds, but you do get a 6-up save against the power maul.
What minus is it?
-2.
I don't think they have 4-up save. For some reason, I think they only have 5-up saves.
Okay.
I double check. We're going to double check the armor save of cavalry, but for some reason I don't think it's 4. So of course I was wrong, and the Death Riders do indeed have a 4-up save, so I will get a 5-up save from this. And I pass 1, fail 1, so one of my horses goes back down to 1 wound from the previous wounding.
And then we'll finish off with the champion making 5 attacks with his lightning claws, making sure I calculated that right. So 3 attacks normally, +2 for each of the lightning claws, and +1 for charging. So hopefully the champion will be able to butcher the last 2 horses. Okay, so he's managed to hit 3 times. The 6 counts as an additional hit, so that's 4 hits, and wounding on 3s. So 3 wounds, it could do it. These are at -2 to their save, I think.
Not reroll to wound for lightning claws.
Oh, you do. Is that a thing with the lightning claws as well? You might get actually a reroll, which would be handy.
It always was, wasn't it? Or was that reroll to hit? Reroll to hit or wound?
It does actually let you reroll to wound, you are correct. So 4 wounds at -2 and 1 damage apiece.
Okay, so unless I roll at least 2 6s here, my horses are dead. So as that squad of Death Riders down.
Okay, so end of Iron Warriors turn 3. Bit of a mixed turn. Happy that I've managed to wipe out quite a few of the Imperial Guard units here, and I've tied some up in combat, so at least they won't be able to shoot at me next turn, thankfully. But the flip side of that, on the far flank, the fact that all these charges fail to hit home means that again, I'm looking forward to, in inverted commas, front rank fire, second rank fire, yay!
Iron within, iron without.
Yeah. So yeah.
2 wound Chaos Warriors soon, please.
So at the end of that, I'm at 5 victory points. Andy's at 6. I have a feeling that's going to change in the next turn because some of these guys are definitely going to get picked off by the sheer volume of lasguns coming my way. So it's all to play for.
Just look, see this? Very scary. Time for Imperial Guard Krieg turn 3, and we did lose a couple of squads. I'm still not sweating. I now have the Terminators in shot, so I can kind of plan around dealing with them. I always find it more nervous when they're not on the table and I don't know where they're going to come in and what I'm going to do. And I have lost a good few units. My right flank is still very, very sturdy. So what I'm going to try and do is deal with all of this turn, and I am going to put these 2 demolition tanks straight onto this big boy and try and take huge amounts of damage on him. The Terminators will probably still get to run rampant this turn or his next turn. And nothing much I can do about that for now, but perhaps the turn after that I will still have enough forces on the table to deal with them, but I'm just going to do the ignore game for now because I don't know what to do. So let's get my models rearranged and get into it. Okay, so let's get into my movement phase. Somehow I still have some Scions left. These will actually move up and take position on the rooftop up here. Fortunately, they don't get any armor save from this because iron wires and whatnot, but what are you going to do? They look cool. They do look kind of cool. These guys are once again going to issue the front line fire, second line fire, which will hit these guys, which will bounce onto these guys. So that's a whole heap more shots, which hopefully will deal with the Chaos Space Marine. It is crazy thing that the number of shots I'm firing, and with that new rule, I'm looking at 10 guardsmen and then looking at a squad of Chaos Space Marines and having some sort of confidence about taking them out, which is a bizarre feeling for me, but I quite like it.
2 wounds soon, please.
I'm not in a rush for that, guys. Yeah, it's fine. Will I be brave or stupid?
Both is good.
I think I will. To hell with it. Maybe we can take some wounds off the Terminators themselves. We might even move Foncho up to here, so if he needs to swivel and take a shot at a Terminator, or whether he's going to take forward and shoot at some guys, he has that option in place. Next, it's time for the... we did talk about this before. Can you fall out of combat in 40k?
You can fall out of combat in 40k, but you can't shoot.
Yeah, so and can you fall back and run like Age of Sigmar?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so my squad of engineers that is stuck in combat is going to run and fall back, so they get a 7 inches. Let's get them out of dodge, so they're going to go back here, try and get out of the blast zone. The 2 ones here aren't in combat, so they're just going to pull back 6 inches. So maybe they can pop off some few shots with their shotguns. These guys want to come around here because their explosion, I want to try and hit these guys as well. So bear with me for the detonation of that. These guys are actually going to turn around and move a little bit out of the blast zone as well, maybe, and try and obviously take some shots at the Terminators as well. So that is my movement phase ended. Pray for me in my shooting phase and let's see what happens. Okay, so now on to my shooting phase. I get to do the funnest part of my shooting phase, which is my Demolips Cyclops
demolition.
My Cyclops Demolips charges. Anyway, my Cyclops demolition charges are both going to cook off their munitions, hitting everything within 6 inches of it, which will be this big unit here and these guys here. And I'm just going to roll them all together because it's way funner that way. So 4d6 hits on each of the guys. So we're going to go for the infantry squad at the back just to make to be a bit more fun. So 4, 9, 10, 11 hits. 8, 10, 11, strength 9, so they will wound those Marines on 2s. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 wounds, minus 2, which will become minus 1 because of your beautiful power armor.
8, 9, 4 up saves.
Dave dice means he passes 2 and fails 7.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then the 4d6 demolition onto Senor Della Pinci. Boom! 10, 14, 15. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7.
See, I had named this thing the Beast of Cartha, and now obviously this is now just going to be known as Senor Della Pinci from now on.
Senor Della Pinci? He has a big pinchy claw. He's got 2 big pinchy claws. So it is toughness. Not
strength.
9.
Not 9. You're going to be wounded on 3s.
So 3s. Ooh, that was really good. So 3 misses, the rest are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 wounds. This will be minus 2 because he's not wearing power armor.
It is minus 1 because he still counts as it. That's the way the rule works. Yeah. The way the rule works is if you have the Heretic Astartes keyword, you get the extra reduction. So apparently the demon engines. Because
I'll take it. Cool. Okay. Yeah.
built by them. So how many wounds have I got?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
Cool. So 2, 4, so 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah. So that's not actually as bad as I thought it would be. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them go through.
So I get 6d3.
Yeah, that's a bad bit.
Yeah. Let's hope for loads of 5s and 6s, please. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 wounds on your Defiler.
So the Defiler, I believe, has 14 wounds. So I think he remains on 2, but let me just double check that. Ooh, that was effective.
Yeah, man. 100 points worth of RC cars with TNT stuck all of them. It kind of worked.
So I was correct. The Beast of Cartha, Senor de la Pinchi, does have a total of 14 wounds, so he has 2 remaining. Thankfully he had regenerated that last wound automatically in my previous phase, so he was on full. But he is now still very much standing in the middle of an awful lot of Imperial Guard. And he's only got those 2 wounds to keep him in the fight.
I have jelly in my mouth.
I'm not feeling that confident.
I am. I'm going to try and add insult to injury and try and take the last 2 wounds off of the Defiler with the 2 shotgun wielding engineers. It's very unlikely, but it'll be really funny if it works. Well, funny to me, I don't know how Dave will feel.
You're ejecting a lot of shells there. Yup.
So not a good number of hits and no wounds, so that's me trying to be a smart ass is out of the way. So I guess it's probably time to do something kind of substantial to try and take it down. So we're going to go over to this squad of 10 guardsmen who were going to shoot at this thing, but I really want this to be gone, so we're going to once again try our best to take that out. So we're going to rapid fire at that, so 20 dice, and let's see what happens. Oh, no 6s. That's an absolute 18 dice, no 6s, and loads of misses. Ooh. 1 wound.
1 save!
Oh no.
Yes!
Yes! Yes!
Dun 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 dun. We better stop. We got a copyright strike for that or something. Font the Magnificent will take down the Defiler. I have faith.
Fast and hard.
For the 2nd time in the game, he needed that beautiful shot and a 6. All I needed. 6.
Okay.
Automatic wound.
So normally -3 to my armor, it goes to -2, so it goes to a 5 up armor save.
How much damage does it do?
It's D6 damage.
So just don't roll a 1, Andy. Should do one of the Fortnite dance that the youth do? No.
Second game in a running, the Defiler crumbles to the floor. Poor Senor Pinchi.
We're going to go in for the front rank fire, second rank fire, 40 shots from that infantry squad onto the squad of Marines.
Yep, the Legionnaires. So
we will take the free automatic wounds. We'll get rid of all of those 1s, 2s, and 3s, which is an... Once again, it always seems like a travesty, the amount of 1s, 2s, and 3s there is.
Yeah, but it's also this kind of makes up for it.
Yeah, sure. 5s. The wounds always do seem to balance out though, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So I've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 wounds on your 5-man in Chaos Space Marine squadaroo.
Mm-hmm. So 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Nice. And this one. There you go. So we've lost
2.
We'll take it. That's not too bad.
Solid saving right there. Nice job.
It's about time I started doing some solid saving in this game.
True. So the Scions on the roof over there are going to shoot down onto that same squad, try and reduce their numbers even further. Still quite a few misses and no 6s. Sad times. But the wounds are good. So 4 wounds at a -2 to your armor save, which is -1 because of your legionnaire-ness.
Okay.
And you lose 2 more.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter when I roll like this, does it?
Dave dies.
Once again, one man stands alone in the breach in front of an awful lot of lasgun shots. What's going to happen here, I wonder?
More lasgun shots. So the next squad across is going to do their front rank, second rank fire once again. Unfortunately, only half the squad is in rapid fire range, so it will be 30 shots and not 40. So let's see what we can do with that. Apparently it's quite a lot. God bless the 6s. I'm going to get rid of all of the 1s, 2s and 3s.
So while he's sorting through all that, that's 4 automatic wounds so far. Let's see what Dave Dice has to think about that. Ooh, I think you can stop counting dice there, buddy.
No, it's not the last guy, it's the other squad, buddy.
Oh, it's the other squad, sorry,
Yeah.
Sorry. Aww. Okay.
So after that one guy's died, I've managed to score 5 more additional wounds.
I got ahead of myself there.
Yeah. Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, so last but by no means least, we're going to move on to the charge phase. And the 5 Death Riders are going to seek vengeance for their fallen comrades and charge extremely bravely, I'd like to say, into the squad of 10,000-year-old walking battle tanks. Rolling for distance of charge, glorious 10, which will of course get me in there. These horses will fly in, of course, break into a flying V, quack, 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 quack.
And they form a V. I've heard of this before, but I've never seen it.
And smash into the Terminators. They got this. Okay, time to see if the Death Riders can do any damage to those glorious Terminators. So, 4 is to hit. Unfortunately, the 6s to do damage is only in shooting, I believe, which is unfortunate because that would have been beautiful. And my Death Riders do go to strength 5 on the charge with their hunting lance, so they'll be wounding the Terminators on 3s. So we've got 4 wounds. Normally it would be -3, but it's -2 because of the power armor rule, Legionary Astartes rule.
Yep.
So you get a 4 up save, 3 up saves.
So 2 up goes to a 4 up save.
Yeah, 4 up save, and any failed one is a dead Terminator because of the 2 damage on the charge.
Delightful. No pressure then.
No, no pressure at all.
So that is 2 Terminators dropped. I really need not to roll that. Oh no!
Happy with those 2?
Yep.
So the beautiful equine beasts of the Death Riders also get to strike out with their savage claws. Once again, hitting on 4s. They did a great job. These guys are strength 4, so they are wounding on 4s. I said 4 a lot in that last 2 sentences, but anyway. 3 wounds at -1, which will be means -nothing because you'll probably roll 2 ones down. I'll still kill the Terminator. Thanks, buddy.
Why is it always the horses do better than the dudes?
Iron hooves, baby.
So we're down to 2 Terminators against 5 Death Riders. So now it is the turn of the Terminators to swing back. So we're going to start off with the Banner Bearer swinging out with his Power Fist. So again, hitting on 3s. Or hitting on 4s even, sorry, because he's at -1 to hit because of the Power Fist. But wounding on 2s at -2. Or sorry, -3 and 2 damage. So I think
that is one of my Death Riders has been pulped.
So that pucks 1. And then the champion with his Lightning Claws gets 5 attacks, hitting on 3s. So manages to miss 2 of them, unfortunately. And wounding on 3s with a reroll, thankfully. So 2 wounds. Make that 3 wounds at -2 to the Death Rider save.
So we'll get a 6 up save from this. I fail all things, so 3 more wounds. So another one drops, and 1 goes to 1 wound.
So 2 Death Riders traded for 3 Terminators. I think the Death Riders may have come off better in that particular skirmish.
Well, you got to look at it like it's... So far I've lost 7 Death Riders to those Terminators. That's a little bit fairer, right?
So final thing to do is just the combat attrition test for the Terminator squad. So 6, and they lost 3 dudes, so 9. I think they're only leadership 8. So I think that's going to be another Terminator is going to Scarper from the battlefield. And we're going to see now, does the last one run?
5 or 6 now, isn't it? 'Cause he's below half strength.
On a 1 or a 2.
Oh, 1 or 2, the other way around.
Thankfully, it is literally just the champion as the one left, swinging his claws, trying to take down the squad. Ugh. Thankfully, I remember to actually check the rules. It turns out a Terminator champion is leadership 9. So he, as the banner bearer turns to make a run for it, he very much grabs him around the scruff of the neck and says, "Here you, get back in the fight, we're not done yet." So it is 2 Terminators left trying to hold the charge of the Death Riders.
So that was the end of my turn 3. Once again, a huge success. We managed to knock out the Defiler and the squad of Marines that was following it up through the breach, claiming another 4 victory points for me, bringing my total score to 10, and Dave at 5. So I'm currently doubling the victory points, so a little bit of confidence at this stage. The number of Chaos Space Marines on the table has dwindled significantly. I do believe we're moving into the end phase now, more or less mopping up the traitorous scum. Unless Dave has some sort of crazy trick up his sleeve, like a lance battery from orbit, just cut. Go Dave, going into your turn 4, how are we feeling? Sorry guys, he's buffering, give him a second.
So, turn 4, I think at this stage it's fair to say I don't think I can really win this battle. So it's really just a case of playing for spite at this point.
No better reason than to play than for spite, buddy.
Absolutely.
Remember, it's not about having fun, it's about how much fun you can make your opponent not have.
Exactly. So, I have a grudge that needs to be settled from the last game.
You have a debt to pay.
Looking to you, Mr. Funch.
Oh no.
And I've got my squad of Chosen with their 3 Meltagons that are going to make a beeline right for you, Mr. Funch. And are going to see about taking you out of this battle. If nothing else, I will be happy with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the Aspiring Champion and the 1 remaining Chaos Space Marine are going to go for the unit of Scions, try and wipe them out. Squad of Chosen are going to charge straight up the battlefield, fire off their shots into the Sentinel, try and wipe him out. We're going to send the Hellbrute clanking and smashing his way through the last bit of the walls, maybe make it into this squad here and fire off his plasma gun shots at these guys here to try and wipe them off the face of the battlefield. And then it'll come down to the fight in the center, where hopefully my Terminators will be able to take Andy's last 3 Death Riders out of play.
We will strip the flesh from their bones!
So let's see how all of that plays out. Nothing to do in my command phase, so we're going to go straight on to the movement phase. So,
we are legion! As you command!
Now, time to start with some shooting stuff. Okay, so starting off with the champion and the aspiring champion. So the champion's going to fire his combi plasma gun, so he's going to fire some plasma shots into the guardsmen sheltering in the ruins. So 2 shots. Never mind. We'll move on to the aspiring champion firing his bolter rather than the combi melta. You saw nothing. You saw nothing.
The whole internet has seen. Oh wait, you're the editor again. Oh no.
I am just a figment of your imagination.
Okay, so we'll move on to the Meltagons then. So the Chosen squad, again, steadying their aim on the breach of the breaching shields. They're going to fire off 3 Meltagun shots into Mr. Fonch the Magnificent. Again, hitting on 3s. So 2 of the shots find their mark. Fonch is toughness 7, so it's going to be 3s to wound him.
Toughness 6. Is a normal Sentinel 5 and an armored one 6?
Well, I'm not double your strength, so I'm only going to be wounding you on 3s. So 1 wound and D6 damage. It's strength -4, so I think it cracks straight through its armor. Does do 6 wounds to Fonch.
That is not ideal. Let me just go grab one of my trusty dice to place on. You've taken 6 wounds. It's okay, Fonch. We'll get you out of this. Don't be worrying, buddy.
He's got how many wounds in total?
None of your business.
We're going to fire the bolt pistol off, just in case it's 7 wounds, we manage to take him down in one shot.
Damn it.
So, the bolt pistol finds the mark from the champion. Does manage to wound.
What do I have, a 4-up save with this guy?
4-up save, yeah.
Oh. I gotta check and see if there's 6 or 7 wounds. This could be big news here, people. It's okay, guys. It turned out he didn't have 7 wounds. He had 6, so he was dead from the melting gun, so the bolt pistol was a waste. Sorry, Punch.
Stop! He's already dead!
Well, I've achieved my goals. I'm happy now. So, nothing to lose. We're going to go for the plasma cannon. So, firing its shots into the squad of Scions on the far right. Or combat engineers, sorry.
Combat engineers.
So, again, firing D3 shots. That's much better. This time firing 3 shots, hitting on 3s. So that was 2 mortal wounds now. So he's taken 3 so far. Yeah, never mind. But let's see if he's crazed at the end of it and I forget to go again. No. Okay.
Is that the end of your shooting phase?
Yeah.
You didn't kill it all.
No.
Maybe you'll do stuff with all of your combats that are going.
No.
Never mind.
Okay, charge phase. So we'll start working from my right, your left, across. We'll start with the Dreadnought. So the Dreadnought's going to try and make its way into the rear of this squad. So 9-inch charge, more than enough. Smashy. The Chosen squad are going to charge straight for the full squad in front of them here. So 6-inch charge should be more than enough. It is indeed. So the Chosen smashing home. Now the champion gets to put those paired power swords to work. The unit champion here, 3-inch charge. It's enough just to get into the squad of guardsmen here. Not that I really fancy his chances of taking them out one alone, but we shall see. And then the aspiring champion going into the unit of Scions.
More than enough.
Hops the ramparts, slamming down and getting ready to try and make mincemeat out of them.
So I'm going to declare Overwatch with this squad of 10 guardsmen here and see if I can do any damage. Okay, so 20 shots with the stand and shoot. I'm looking for 6s to hit, but 6s would also do automatic wounds, so this may work out in my favor. So I will take the 1, 2, 3, 4 automatic wounds caused on that squad on the way in. Now there being only 4 guys left in that squad, with Dave dice, it's not impossible that they all die here.
Let's find out.
I mean, I'll take half the squad from stand and shoot. Oh, lovely.
Okay, so we'll move on to the aspiring champion, or exalted champion. I'm not entirely sure what that unit is called, but something along those lines. The low-level lord. So he's going to swing out with his power fist into the Scions. So he gets 5 attacks on the charge, hitting on 3s. So unfortunately 2 misses. Wounding on 2s with rerolls because of his aura buff, thankfully. So only managed to wound 2 of them, but it is going to pulp 2 of the Scions. It should crack straight through their armor.
So 2 of my Scions are removed from that fight.
Next we'll move on to the champion here, drawing his power sword and swinging out again. He gets 3 attacks on the charge. So manages to only hit once, but because of the 6, it counts as 2 hits. Does manage to wound once, and with the reroll from the champion nearby, actually wounds twice. So -2 to the armor save, so it should go straight through.
2 more guardsmen die.
And then we move on to the Chosen squad. So starting off with the melted gun arm Chosen, basically just tries to bludgeon them to death with his shield, hits twice, and wounds once.
I will get a 5-up save.
Get your normal save against this.
Which I pass gloriously.
And then the champion with his pair of power swords, basically I count this as a pair of lightning claws on this guy. So manages to hit with 4 of the attacks, gaining an extra attack there from that as well, which is quite tasty. And wounding on 3s. So managing 4 wounds and the reroll from the lightning claws, 5 wounds, butchering half the squad.
No messing about with lightning claws, is he? That guy's got to have a cool name, right?
We're going to have to come up with a cool story for this guy.
Yeah, he deserves it. Okay, on to the Hellbrute.
So, the Hellbrute...
Ha! Got him to say Hellbrute, guys.
God damn it. So let's see what a Hellbrute does in combat now that he actually has some of the weapons that he needs to use. So this guy's armed with a Hellbrute Fist. So he has 4 attacks, 5 on the charge. So again, hitting on 3s. Yeah, that's not too bad. So 3 hits, which counts as 6 hits. Finally, that rule is coming in useful. And this will pulp guardsmen on 2s. So that is a grand total of 4 guardsmen squashed flat by the force of the Dreadnought's charge.
Remember the way I said this was like a mop-up turn? Your turn has been quite devastating, to be honest, buddy. I'm not feeling quite as confident I was a minute ago.
And then the last thing is going to be the Terminators. So because this is the second round of combat, my guys aren't going to have quite as many attacks this time around. So swinging it twice with the Power Fist from the Banner Bearer, he hits twice, but does manage to wound twice, punching 2 of the horses from the saddle.
That is dead and dead.
And then it is going to be down to the Lightning Claws to finish off the job. So the champion swinging out 4 attacks. So managed to hit with 2 of them, which could be enough to do it. And does 2 wounds. So 2 saves, -2.
6 up saves. Pass 1, fail 1. So he is left alive on 1 wound. I'm not sure if I'm happy about that. I kind of wanted him to be out of the fight so people could shoot him next turn. He may have to do a tactical nay out of there. Okay, so me assaulting back. So the 5 guardsmen that are here get 6 dice because of the sergeant with his power shovel.
Well, that squad's dead.
Yeah. I hit 4 times. If only those were automatic wounds, that'd be great. No wounds, done. Beautiful. The squad over here fighting this guy, there is still a glorious, what, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys left alive. We need a couple more dice. Oh yeah, 1 extra for the champion. Let's see if I can do any damage to these guys. So 4 is to hit. That was pretty good. 5's to win. If I can get 2 5s here, Dave is sure to fail at least one of the saves. There's my 5 and 6 like I was looking for. So there's 2 wounds. Dave is sure to fail at least one of them. Damn it! The 3 Scions, I don't think they're any better than a guardsman in combat. I've already removed the... Oh no, Sergeant is still there. What is this going to happen to... They're better shots, they're not better at fighting. No wounds. I don't even know if I should bother swinging guardsmen at a Dreadnought, but I suppose I've got to take every opportunity I can get my hands on at this stage. So 2 misses and 4 hits, and I'm requiring 6s to wound. A wound on the Hellbrute. I swear to God, if I don't get to kill any Marine, but I take a wound off a Hellbrute, for God's sake.
However, is that all your combat phase done?
No, my horsey has to smack you back.
Okay, cool. We'll come back to the Hellbrute.
Oh no. So the horsey sergeant, he's got 2 attacks that both miss, and then the horse, 1 hits, causes a wound.
I'm telling you, the horses always do better.
-1. No. So my combat phase was utterly pointless, and I may have made your Dreadnought really angry and going to hit me again. Is that what's going to happen?
That's what I'm hoping for, yeah. So let's see if we roll a 6. No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
So the final thing to do is just see what effect the combat attrition tests have on the Krieg, if any. Based on my look so far, I'm going to say probably no effect.
Well, we'll see. So let's see. These guys here lost half their number, so 2 + 5 is 7. They're fine. These once again lost half their number. 3 + 5 is 8. Their leadership 7, so they will lose a guy. And then 4 more tests. They're fine. I think these guys lost 2, 4, 6, 8. They lost 2, so they're fine. The guy up there lost 1, 2?
1, 2.
2. So then I rolled a 2, so they're fine. So my combat attrition has only resulted in me losing a single guardsman.
What about the horse?
Oh no. Oh no. 3 + 2, that's fine.
He's still fine.
And what about you, buddy? You lost a couple of guys here, didn't you?
I did. I lost 2 guys there, so...
I don't think you can fail it,
Why
actually.
am I rolling 2 dice?
I don't know. 6 plus 2 is 8. What leadership are they?
I think the chosen champion is leadership 8. So
Oh yeah, they're chosen champion. They're probably fine.
So I would sure hope no, so, because otherwise, so Phew, okay, so chosen are leadership 8 as standard, and the chosen champion is leadership 9. So
okay.
Okay, so the end of Iron Warrior's turn 4. Bit of a brutal assault phase. Did actually manage to do some damage, but not quite enough to wipe out any units, unfortunately. The only casualty this game was, or this turn rather, was Font the Magnificent, taking a Meltagun blast to the face. But as I say, that was my main goal this turn. There was justice demanded for my Carnifex from the last game, so justice is now served. So at the end brings me to 6 victory points, but still trailing behind Andy's 4 victory points, or sorry, 4 points behind his 10 victory points. So with only a turn left to go, I think it's fairly safe to say that he has this one in the bag. So we'll roll on to Imperial Guard, turn 4.
So in my movement phase, I'm going to be pulling a few things out of combat. So my horses will pull back. These guys will stay fighting a dreadnought, so it doesn't get to shoot at me next turn really. These guys are going to pull back out of combat for a very simple reason, that the Marshal is going to cast front rank fire, second rank fire on his own squad, who will hopefully shoot here, maybe cause a couple of wounds and solve that problem. Maybe I'm going to trust that these guys will take this guy in combat. It's not very likely, but you never know. They're probably going to die. But now it's time for the engineers that are remaining to butt up and shut up. These engineers here might throw a grenade in this phase, or 5, and try and do some serious damage to these Terminators. So wish me luck on that. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to my shooting phase and try and mop up a few bits and pieces. So I'm going to be cheeky. I'm going to use the engineer's gas bombs. I'm going to spend a command point so all the 5 guys get to throw a grenade. So that's 5 gas bombs on the Terminators. So it's 3s to hit. Really didn't want those 2 to miss, but what are you going to do? It's 2s to wound with the gas bombs. Oh, and a 1 in there as well. So this is minus 2 to armor, but of course he ignores one of those minuses, so it's only minus 1. Thanks, buddy. Another dead Terminator, right?
Yeah, that's one more dead Terminator, unfortunately.
And then the other squad of engineers here with their 2 remaining shotguns will just rack in some shells and fire them off on this guy. So 4s to wound. Whoops, it is. I see the problem.
It ain't got no gas in it.
And Marshal Zorn and his command squad will take aim from his command pulpit and raise their las guns and open fire on the chosen squad. Let's see what they can do. 2 automatic wounds. Only 1s and 2s need to get taken out because he's a command squad. They hit on 3s, and that's 5s to wound. I will take 6 wounds. That means Dave has to pass 3 saves apiece in order to keep this squad in the fight. Can he do it? Nope.
That's a definite nope. So unfortunately, that is that squad wiped.
Okay, so I'm going to begin the combat phase with the only combat that I think might swing my way, and this is with these guys here. So once again, 2, 4, 6, 8 guys, which will give me 9 attacks. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. All I'm trying to do is take down 1 Marine, so it can happen. I like that. We've gotten 5 hits. Like I said before, I only need 2 5s or 6s. And I did indeed get my 2 5s or 6s. Now Dave just needs to play the odds and fail 1. Thank you.
One more down.
Of course, 8 guardsmen jumping on a Terminator and like gouging him with bayonets and the soft seals and hitting him in the face with little plastic sandcastle spades till he dies. And that is giving me another 2 victory points. That's 4 victory points already came back, bringing my total to 14. So once again, feeling a little bit more confident, even though Dave's last turn was utterly devastating. There's a couple more combats to mop up. These combats will probably go Dave's way, so I'm not too keen on doing this. That's why I'm blabbing to the camera so much, so we don't have to roll those dice. Is it working? Let's try here with 3 Scions, 4 dice. They don't do better in fighting, just shooting. No wounds, cool. That is the 7,946 time I've knocked that banner off of that building. 5 guys here, 6 attacks. That's actually a decent number of hits, and 6 is to wound the Dreadnought as usual. I did cause a wound, and he will fail because it's Dreadnought. Oh no, he's fine. That's the end of me fighting, so it's Dave's turn to fight back with a Dreadnought and some sort of lordy bossy thing that we don't know the name of. And,
so the Exalted Champion, I did actually look it up. So he swings out 4 times with his Power Fist. So hits twice. And manages to wound twice, pulping 2 more guardsmen.
Dead.
And then the Dreadnought, swinging it with his Power Fist, 4 attacks hitting on 3s. So 2 hits, or 3 hits rather, 1 miss. Wounding on 2s, and that's another 2 guardsmen pulped. But unfortunately that is now the end of my combats and charges and stuff, so it's just down to combat attrition.
That's time for combat attrition. I believe the only combat attrition I have to take is the guy up here, so he passes, and this guy here. But these guys here, 5, 6, 7 guys. Did I lose 2 guys or 3 guys? 2 guys.
2 guys.
So I'm fine. So yeah, nothing to combat attrition except for the banner once again. Again. All day, all game.
Perfect. Do it again.
So at the end of Andy's turn, I am left with a grand total of 3 models: an aspiring champion, a badly battered dreadnought, and a Terminator sergeant, all standing more or less in the middle of no man's land. So I think at this stage it is time to accept the inevitable and call it there. So this is in fact a victory for the men of Krieg.
I mean, the way we look at it is Dave is currently sitting, I think, like 8 points behind. Even in his turn, his last turn, he will claim 3 more points, claiming the dead horse, finishing these 3 guardsmen off and finishing the Scion. That'll be the end of the turn, and he still won't have caught up. He won't have caught up. So we have indeed called the game at the end of turn 4. It was a cracking game. So let's go into a post-game analysis.
Snake, are you okay? Snake?
Okay guys, that brings an end to the 5th battle report in the series. It was another cracking game in my opinion. I think the last 2 have been particularly good.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. You will have seen one of the battle reports 2 weeks ago. That was my favorite one filming so far. This one may have pipped that as well, so I'm delighted with how the battle reports are going so far. Thank you guys for watching the battle reports. It does mean a lot to us, and we do put in a lot of effort getting armies ready or editing videos to bring these to you. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you are enjoying the videos, make sure you hit the like button and share them around. It does help out immensely. If you want to subscribe to the channel, there are buttons below for that as well. So Dave, what did you think of the battle?
Yeah, it was good crack. Like it was fun to play the kind of narrative Trojan horse style scenario. I think I made a couple of tactical blunders. I think the biggest tactical blunder was Dave dice coming back into play in full force. Unfortunately, I've had a good run of luck for the last couple of battle reports, but I think it's kind of balanced out now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it was fun to give the Iron Warriors a good run out again, and I'm looking forward to our next battle report where we get to try something completely different.
Yeah, we're moving to a slightly different field of war on the planet, so we'll be introducing some more Xenos races. So those games should feel quite different. Once again, I would like to thank Deep Cut Studios for providing the map that we played on here today. Your support means a lot to us on the channel. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you in the next battle report.
See you then, guys.